Today on Ballistic Burgers, I am going to be recreating the very first Smashburger video ever posted on YouTube. And guess who made that video? Your boy Greg. Let's get going. When I do a Copycat Burger, I always try to kind of lay out a little of the history of that burger, of the restaurant that made the burger. So on this video, I'm going to lay out a little history on this channel, on Ballistic Burgers channel. I'll have chapters down below here, so if you're not interested, feel free to skip ahead to where I'm actually cooking this burger. So there's a couple reasons why I decided to do this, to kind of lay out the history of my channel. One is because actually I've never formally introduced myself on the barbecue channel when I started this. The other is I've had comments where I had mentioned, the barbecue channel on a burger video, where the viewer commented saying, I didn't even know you had another channel. So yeah, obviously I do. And the other is, and this one's a little bit, I guess, embarrassing for me to admit it, but I've had a couple kind of crappy comments. One very recent comment just kind of flipped a switch on me, pushed some buttons, and the commenter basically said, "You're the copycat." And then he or she mentioned 3 other channels that I was allegedly copying. They're bigger channels than mine, not as old as they haven't been doing videos as long as me, but they were kind of accusing me of copying these 3 individuals. I'm not going to mention their names. One of them is actually a really good friend of mine, but anyway, that kind of got me going a little bit. I didn't even respond. I deleted the comment, but the other day I was cleaning out the patio here, and I wheeled out my Whopper that I haven't used this Whopper in a long time. Took the lid off of it, and it was like all of a sudden, it was like opening up a what do you call them? A time capsule. I saw a ballistic griddle laying there and a Cray Court cast iron grate inside, and I started reminiscing about when I first started doing video or burgers. So I'll tell you exactly how it came down. I started my Ballistic BBQ channel in 2009, and it was one of a very small handful of channels. We all kind of started together, really. The outdoor cooking, the barbecue channels. There weren't a whole lot of, actually back then, any real dedicated channels. Most people were just kind of uploading random videos. I mean, there might be working on a car video, and then the next video they upload was cooking a brisket. And I decided I wanted to, start a dedicated barbecue channel. And it was a very small community, and we were kind of growing up together, learning together. And it was really fun, actually. In 2011, I shot my very first hamburger video. And I remember kind of, this isn't going to be good, because in my mind at the time, it's like, who wants to watch a burger video? Everybody can cook a burger. And I didn't realize, I was too naive to know back then that that's one of the kind of hooks on a hamburger recipe, is they are very approachable. They're not intimidating. And anybody with a basic cooking skills can make a really good hamburger. So it was a Wagyu, ground Wagyu burger, which is why I did it, because I had some ground Wagyu. And the video was fun. It did fairly well. I mean, it got a much better reaction than I was expecting. So I did my first Copycat video February of 2012. I did it was a In-N-Out double animal style burger video that I did. And that's where something really started happening. I noticed regardless of the video I posted, it could be like, say, a brisket video, pork shoulder, whatever, I was getting a lot of comments of people requesting burger copycat videos, which, I was trying to accommodate. So then that same year, 2012, I went to a hamburger joint that just sort of popped up in San Diego called Smashburgers. And I know that I think they first started in 2007 in Colorado. They started opening up, stores in other parts of the country, and we got one of them here in San Diego. And I went there, and I really, really enjoyed the burger. It was, they were doing a smash burger. So the wheel started turning, and I remember I went in, I was talking to the manager about, I wanted to do a version of their, burger on a video. He took me into the kitchen and was showing me how they make them. I was looking at the smasher, and it wasn't just a flat smasher or a spatula they were using. It was actually gauged. So it had like a 1/4 of an inch lip on it that prevented it from making the burger really, really thin. And then they were cooking on a flat top. So at the time, Blackstone, griddles, the other brands, they weren't really a thing. I mean, they existed, but you weren't seeing any burger videos at all using these flat tops. And I know that me personally, at the time, I really didn't know that you could buy, these griddles. So I was using 2 cookers at the time. I had, kind of a cheapy offset smoker, and then I had a Weber kettle. So what I did was I went to a metal fabrication shop, and I had a semicircle cut, the 21.5-inch diameter on it, and then it was just a semicircle of fairly thick stainless steel. So that was my flat top, and that's what I used in this original Smashburger video that I did. It's funny, the video was doing well, and I started getting like inundated with emails. Where can I buy this flat top? Are you selling the flat top? Where, blah, 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 and the smasher. And so I use finger quotes, working with a brand called Craycourt. When I say working with, they weren't sponsoring videos. They had basically given me their grate system as a cast iron grate system, which is pretty cool. And some of the accessories that went along with it. But they weren't, paying me to do videos or anything. And I sent the guy that owned the place, he was a German guy in Germany, an email saying, hey, you need to start making these, And so, long story short, we kind of teamed up, and he made what we were calling the Ballistic Griddle and the Ballistic Smasher. The original's made out of carbon steel, and I still have it. I wanted to use it for this video, but I have to dig it out of my shed. But he made it to the same specs, about a 1/4 of an inch deep, and made the griddle, out of the same specs that I had the original made, but it had a little backstop on it, which was cool. But lessons learned, we were, we had nothing in writing, and I had no way of tracking sales. I was getting a lot of emails from people asking, hey, I ordered this, when's it going to arrive? Like kind of customer service oriented requests. And I think the whole time we were selling these things, he paid me twice. And I know that he was real skeptical of how, the flat top would do, because again, at the time, flat tops weren't a thing like they are now. And I know that I think he ran 200 flat tops with the first production, and all of them sold out before they even hit the shore, in the United States. So they were popular, and I know that the Smashers were selling out. But yeah, he pretty much ripped me off, Craycourt, and I guess karma got him. He was just making really bad business decisions, and the business kind of spiraled downhill. And I know S&S Grills bought out his inventory, and they're selling the Craycourt cast iron grates. And I saw that there were some ballistic griddles they were selling too. Like I said, I decided then I was going to do this video. I started thinking about, gosh, I made the Smashburger, and I remember watching the video just a couple days ago. I remember it was going through my mind when I was actually making this, that, man, I'm going to get killed in the comments because I'm smashing a hamburger, and you're not supposed to do that, blah, 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 blah. And as I started kind of digging deeper, I was wondering, did I make the first Smashburger on YouTube? So I was looking at channels like Kinji, who get credit, he has a very popular Smashburger video, some other channels, and then I was using AI. I used Grok, Nano Banana, which is Gemini, Google's, and also Chat GPT. And yeah, I'm the one who gets credit for making the first actual tutorial on how to make a smash burger at home. There are other videos out there showing restaurants making smash burgers, and the founder of the restaurant Smashburger, Tom Ryan, you know, he's in kind of an interview, shows how to make the patty, but he's not really going into detail on the whole thing. So I'm kind of proud of that, I guess. I'm not trying to be braggadocious, but I think that's kind of cool, right? Started the Ballistic. So what was happening is, again, I was getting a lot of requests on Ballistic BBQ to make burgers, and I also was getting some kind of negative comments like, I thought this was a barbecue channel, why are you doing all these burgers? So in 2020, late 2020, I decided to start this channel, and I'm really, really glad I did. I'm probably losing more money with this channel. I don't have any sponsors on this channel. I mean, if I do use a Lone Star Grills, one of the cookers, you know, they'll sponsor the video, but other than that, I have no sponsors. So all this is pretty much out of pocket, and I'm definitely not getting rich on the AdSense stuff, but I've really enjoyed my interaction. This channel, more than my barbecue channel, you know, I'm getting so many emails. I feel like I'm making friends, you know, and you guys know who you are out there, the regular viewers who are always commenting on my videos and sending me emails and requests and stuff. So I really appreciate that. I've had a couple really nice emails from burger restaurants telling me that my channel inspired them to open a burger restaurant, or in one case, like a food truck serving burgers. And my wife and I, when we were out doing a kind of recon for one of my recent Smashburger, or not Smashburger, but a burger copycat, an owner of one of the other restaurants that I copycatted came out, because the two owners were friends, and he saw me and came up and was talking to me and telling me that I inspired him to open his restaurant. And it's a pretty successful restaurant in San Diego, and that stuff makes me feel so satisfied. You know, yes, I wish my channel would grow faster, and yes, I wish it was, you know, bringing in more money than it does. But the fact that I know that I'm kind of making people happy, I guess. It sounds so stupid and corny, but that's some satisfaction, and I dig on it, and I'm just going to keep doing what I do, and if, you know, my channel grows, so be it. If not, then whatever. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. Anyway, we're going to kick this video off with making the sauce, the smash sauce. I made a couple tweaks. So I went to Smashburgers. They closed like 160 stores nationwide and a few in San Diego. So there is one kind of close. I haven't been to Smashburgers in years, but my wife and I went there yesterday, and I had a Smashburger to kind of refresh my recollection. And I made a couple changes to the sauce that from the original video. And you know, one of my hacks that I used to do a lot is, if I didn't have access to the type of buns these restaurants were using, I would buy the buns off of them. And in one Smashburger video I actually did from the restaurant Smashburger, it was a San Diego burger, manager gave me a bag of buns. So this guy here, man, it was, you know, he goes, we don't sell the buns individually. And I told him, okay, I'll buy a hamburger plain with nothing on it, and don't build the burger. Just give me a hamburger patty and a bun. And you would think I was asking him to cook up a baby seal or something. It was crazy. And I also ordered, by the way, 2 burgers for my wife and I. But anyway, I got a bun from him, and it kind of looks a little bit smashed, but it is what it is. See, I'm rambling off. But anyway, we're going to start off with the smash sauce. I have here 1/4 cup of mayo. To the mayo, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard, 1/2 tablespoon of pickle juice, 1/2 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1/4 teaspoon of sweet paprika. I'll give it a stir. It's a very basic, simple sauce, but it's good. In my first video, I added a pickle relish. That's a dill pickle juice, by the way. And going there yesterday, it doesn't have pickle relish in the sauce. But this is what it tastes like, though. So this is a good representation of their sauce. Now we're going to make their seasoning. empty bowl, 2 tablespoons kosher salt, 2 tablespoons granulated garlic, 2 tablespoons black pepper, 1 tablespoon Lowry's steak seasoning. And this is the low sodium since I'm adding all that salt in there anyway. I just want to get that goodness from Lowry's. And basically the owner, his name is Tom Ryan, kind of gave the recipe, the SPG basically, and then with something to bring out the flavor of the Angus beef. And I'm 99% sure that Lowry's has MSG in it, but it has a bunch of good stuff in there. I like Lowry's. Shake that up. We're good. So what I'm going to do now is fire up the Weber kettle with the Cray Court insert on there and the Ballistic griddle. Again, lessons learned, the School of Hard Knocks. And then I'll meet you at the kettle and we're going to cook up an authentic representation of the famous Smashburgers. And again, I think Smashburgers was the first restaurant that really emphasized Smashburgers. I mean, it's in the name of the restaurant. There are a lot of restaurants that, predated Smashburgers, obviously. I mean, you got, the onion burgers from Oklahoma, White Manna. I mean, there's so many. But I think what they did, again, was they really emphasized the technique above everything else. And it went off. So I credit them to really kind of creating, this craze, this Smashburger craze. And the irony is it probably also damaged their business because one of the reasons why they had to shut down so many stores was the competition. So anyway, it is what it is. I'll meet you at the kettle. All right, so here is the infamous Ballistic griddle that I came up with. This is the Cray Court cast iron grate system that it's sitting on. I have no charcoal on this side, but radiant heat's keeping my butter melted. And then as far as the briquette set up here, it's all around the back. I don't have anything right here. And I only light the center and then allow it to spread. That way I have zones. So the first thing we're going to do is paint this with some butter, and this is clarified butter. Then I have here 2 80-20 balls of chuck, and these are 1/3 of a pound apiece. Put those on. Now nowadays, I'm not a real advocate of laying down any fat before the meatball goes down on a smash burger because I want that meat to really bond to the flat top, and that prevents some of the shrinkage. When you do this, the meat's going to contract a little bit as it, the heat affects it. But can't argue with, well, they had a lot of success, so they're struggling now. But the one thing when you're doing a smash burger like this, you definitely need to leave the parchment on, or else it's going to stick to your spatula and lift up. So here is that Ballistic smasher that my buddy Mike made. I worked with him, so thank you, Mike. And again, this is actually the Cray Court's version. His was high carbon steel that was painted black. So we'll smash it. We want to get it metal to metal, so the metal rim of the smasher down on the flat top, and hold it down for about 10 seconds. The smasher that Smashburger is using, they had, custom made and patent pending and everything. It's probably patented by now, but it was more of a floret shape so that it kind of has that hand smashed look. And I love, butter on a burger, but the way I would do it now is I would just smash the burger on the flat top without the butter, and then baste the top with butter. Hit it with our seasoning now. So now we're just going to allow this to cook, and what I'm looking for is signs that, it's actually cooking through. And you'll start getting some of these holes. I want to see a few more of these, and steam kind of shooting through. The surface of the meat will look, moist. I'm going to move this patty over a little bit. This side of my flat top just doesn't seem hot enough. All right, we're getting good color change up the sides, and these are looking a lot wetter than they did before. This is the bun that they gave me at, well, I bought at Smashburgers. It looks, not the prettiest bun I've ever seen. Lay down a little bit of butter here. Lay down some cheese, this American cheese. While the burger's finishing up, let's finish the prep here on the buns. First thing on the top bun here, we're going to lay down some of that smash sauce. And this is a little bizarre. We're going to lay down 2 rings of ketchup. The plan is, it all starts kind of mixing up as you're eating it. Some green leaf lettuce. 1 slice of tomato. And they're going really, really thin on the veg. They're tomatoes and onions, they slice really thin. Red onion. And 1 more slice of tomato, which I think is interesting. And 3 dill pickle chips. All right. These are looking good. Now we'll get those patties down. Piping hot. So you can see this is a smash burger, but they're pretty thick. I mean, they're 1/4 inch thick patties. And then to complete, why they do this on top like this, I don't know, but that's the way they do it. As far as all the condiments on the top bun first. And here we are, the classic double smash burger from Smashburger. The one that started it all. Looks good. Like I said, this is their bun, and it just looked a little bit kind of smashed when I got it, but I wanted to keep it original, so I went with it. But yeah, it's a good burger. This is just what got me really into the smash burgers, is they're served to you so piping hot. I mean, hot. One of the things I gleaned from this burger is keeping the veg, the onion, the tomato, sliced really, really thin. If you're going to go with raw onion, look at this, nice and steamy. Keeping it thin is the way to go. I am not kidding when I say this is a really piping hot burger. But again, one of my things, I mentioned it a million times in my videos, I love contrasts, and so biting into this burger and almost having your mouth burned by the temperature of the patties, and then getting mixed in with all that cool, refreshing, crispy, onion and the tomato and lettuce in there, it's really kind of a nice experience. So the origins of the Smashburger, like in Oklahoma, was, trying to keep their prices down. This here, these are 2 1/3 pound patties of beef. I mean, this is 2/3 of a pound in here. So this is definitely a kind of a new vision of an old idea. They're not trying to save money here. They're just doing it as a technique. And like I said, when I was doing this burger the first time, and I'll have a link for you to watch, it was cringy for me to watch, but I can remember what was going through my mind when I was smashing it, and it reflects in the way I was explaining it as, I was cooking it. It's like, I know that smashing a burger is taboo, but, and the truth of the matter is, and I think it's definitely been proven now, but I was getting a lot of comments every time I would make a smash burger, by the way. You're smashing all the juice out, but remember, you're smashing raw meat. You're not smashing any juice out. It hasn't started cooking yet. You start smashing cooked burgers, as they're on the grill, then we have a problem. But that raw meat, you can smash it as much as you want, as long as you just leave it alone afterwards. So I appreciate you sticking around, and if you stuck around for my kind of blathering history. I appreciate that. It was just sort of important for me. Again, the main reason is I just never really, when I first started this channel back in 2020, I never really introduced myself to viewers who didn't come over from Ballistic Barbecue, who didn't already know me. So I just wanted them to know, you know, I've been doing burgers a long time. One of the other things I found out is I have more burger videos than anybody on YouTube, which is cool. So yeah, I mean, I thank you guys so much for taking your time out of your day to watch my video and the conversations. And again, I've had so many nice exchanges with you guys on my email, and it means a lot to me, and I cannot tell you how much it means to me to have you guys as friends. And I'm being dead serious when I say that. Again, my channel is not making me a lot of money. I'm doing this because I enjoy doing it, and it makes me feel good to see that a lot of you enjoy watching. So to that I say thank you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm sounding like a corny guy, like a Hallmark video. But anyway, thank you for stopping by. If you are new to the channel, or if you haven't subscribed yet, please take the time to hit that sub button, ring the notification bell, thumb it up if you like it, and I hope you did. I'll see you on the next video. This is a flight back into time for me, and it was kind of fun. Take care. Cheers. Anyway, guys, thanks again for stopping by. I'll have another video real soon.